All eyes on Doge. Big run up. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big run up. To the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.69. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Hey everybody, Kriss here on a Friday afternoon. How is everybody doing? Sorry about that Thursday thing. I just got so backed up in so many things. But we now have a schedule going forward. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, KrissPax Live. I'll fill in other days when necessary, which is why you need to be subscribed. You need to have your notifications on because I might surprise you. But yeah, my schedule is just such a mess right now. Tuesdays and Thursdays are bad. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, live stream schedule going forward. And then we'll do the occasional weekend stream or late night stream or other things as necessary. But that's the schedule going forward. That just makes the time we're together that much more special, doesn't it? That much more special. We're going to talk about trend transition and what that means. You know, I keep it real here on this channel, right? If I just did these Dogecoin to the moons, crypto to the moons, everybody's going to get rich stuff over and over and over again, I'd have a lot more subs, I'd have a lot more followers and all that stuff. But I just can't do that. Once I really tried to make like a video that was kind of a parody. And it did get a lot of views, but I was just like, I can't do it. That was about, I don't know, a couple years ago. I did this like total parody Dogecoin, open mouth cover, like the whole thing, right? And I just can't. I just can't. But anyway, welcome. Thanks for being here. I know it's a Friday. We all got stuff to do, but you're hanging out here, which is good. I do put out some good alpha though. And it's not, I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, right? We don't know if the market's going to go up or down. We really don't know. But there's a lot of indicators one way or the other. And then you got a lot of people who are just dreaming. So I try and wade through that on this channel. You can decide whether you believe me or you believe those other guys, right? But I do try and give you my best opinion of what could happen, just so you're aware. This isn't just a pump channel, right? Not a pump channel. We look at both sides, and we look at historical precedents, and we look at the overall economy. We talk about other stuff. And yeah, during live streams, we talk about food, and we talk about music, and we talk about other stuff too, because you got to live. You got to live too. And I appreciate all your support. I appreciate the KrissPax fam that we've grown here, and new people coming in as well. Ask your questions in the chat after I get through the news and the charts, okay? Because I miss all of the stuff the first 10 minutes. So you can chat amongst yourselves and say hello, good evening, all of that, and I'll get to my stuff. What's going on? What is going on? So this is something we've talked about before. Bitcoin has no ceiling because fiat has no floor, which is kind of interesting, right? We think the dollar is steady, right? We think the dollar is steady. And if Bitcoin's price is going up, right, we think that's a great thing because the dollar is going steady. In reality, right, the dollar is actually going down. And I say that because of inflation. It continues to cost more to buy things. Every once in a while we get dips in things. Like right now we have dips in gas, right? Gas prices are down because Trump is like drill baby drill, flooding the market with oil, right? Trying to keep gas prices down because he doesn't want us to be in a so-called recession, right? So the reality is the Bitcoin price or any price, right, needs to go up just enough at least to keep pace with the declining dollar, at least. So what happens when we have a bear market? Both crypto and the dollar are going down, and that's bad. But we know that that happens. There's cycles, right? There's cycles. You're paying $4.50 for gas, Will? Yeah, we pay about $2.65 here now in Massachusetts. My last fill up was $2.65. And Massachusetts is not the cheapest in the country. But yeah, I know Hawaii prices. But you get to live in such a cool place, right? Well, not cool. It's nice. It's like tropical. Volcanic gas, sure, Capo. Exactly. So this is the thing, you know? This is the thing. Whatever our investment is, it needs to go up at least enough to combat the weakening dollar because of inflation. So if inflation's going down, let's say 3%, then we need to at least be making 3% on all of our investments just to stay even. Just to stay even. So that's tough. But we know Bitcoin crypto goes on big runs, right? But then when there are pullbacks, we just don't want the pullback to be lower than like last cycle's lows, because that would be bad. So all these predictions, right, of 5 cents or less on Dogecoin in the bottom of a bear market, that would be bad, because last 4-year cycle in June 2022, we saw Dogecoin at 4.95 cents. That was the bottom of the bear market. So we don't want Doge to go lower than that, this bear market. And maybe again, because of the bigger market cap, what I've been talking about, especially with Bitcoin, we're not going to have those big violent swings much anymore, except of course when Binance wants to take out liquidity and do that thing, the flash crash stuff, because those manipulations are going to continue. So that's where we start today with that little bit. Look, 2026 bull run timeline, right? January, a rally starts. Chiefy says February, Bitcoin to 220K, March, alt season, and then finally in April, we get a bull trap, mass liquidations, and then the bear market starts. So that's one outlook, and that's kind of accelerating this whole market cycle thing, right? Unfortunately, Chiefy says this, and it could happen, right? It could happen, right? Markets could turn around and Bitcoin could go on a big run. Certainly that can happen. However, you know what my belief is. We already had the peak. It just wasn't euphoria this time. We didn't get euphoria. We didn't get thrill. It just happened near the beginning of October when Bitcoin hit $126,200. That was the top for the price, in my opinion. And I don't think we're going to see that again this cycle. I could be wrong. Chiefy could be right. We could get Bitcoin 220K. Like Tom Lee's calling for that, like a bunch of others. And I'm just like, I'm not really there. Unfortunately, I'm not there. So I think we're seeing bull traps going on with these relief rallies is what's happening. But this is my opinion. I'm just looking at the overall economy, and yeah, there's some warning signs out there, particularly in real estate. A lot of warning signs out there. Naive says, look, last year I cashed out $20,000 of savings to go all in at silver at $30. I ignored my wife, my bros, my parents. $20,000, right, out of his savings to go all in on silver at $30. It seems like, hey, that was a pretty good move by that guy, right? Pretty good move. Now silver breaks $100. Is it really over $100? Did we actually do that? I was going to look at this earlier and I never got to it. I don't think I did. It really? No, it did. $93. Maybe he's in Canada or something. We got to $93, but still $93, right? He would have tripled his money. His $20,000 would have been $60,000. They just don't know that I sold at $32, bought crypto during October, and my $20,000 is now $10,000. Timing is everything, right? So essentially, he bought the top. He didn't buy Bitcoin, right? He bought alts right before the big flash crash. But you got to think like, why did I buy this in the first place? Okay, what were my goals, right? And then you hold and you follow through on it. You do this, then you're chasing and you can get wrecked. And so he should have been at $60,000 based on his initial thought about silver. Instead, he's at 10. That's tough. I get it though, right? He thought he was going to be able to get more. Silver was already going up some at that point, but it didn't go parabolic yet. Back in October, right? In the silver chart. I think it was already moving up some. Yeah, silver had gone up to like $52. Maybe he sold near the beginning of October at about 50, 48.50, and he bought at 30. But he says he sold at 32. That would have been further. Again, he's using a different. He's probably Canadian money. Yeah, can't really compare that here. It looks like silver might have topped though on this chart, but then we thought that again back here at the end of December, right? That silver might have topped, then came down, and then we thought that again maybe here early January, and maybe this is another repeat of that. That it's still going to keep going higher. Not quite sure yet. Seeing how that plays out. Dogecoin is looking rather bearish at the moment. Looking rather bearish. What about Bitcoin? Well, Ted Pillow says people are less convinced Bitcoin will hit 100K this month. Less convinced. Kalshi, which is another poly market, if you don't know, Kalshi, prediction market, 50% chance Bitcoin hits 100K. 50%. So it's half and half. Some people think yes, some people think no. Half. Whether Bitcoin hits $100,000 this month. Of course, Tom Lee predicted, what, 200,000 in January. We know Tom Lee wants it to go up that much. That doesn't mean it's going to go up that much. Sentiment is shifting a bit. But 50-50. But that sounds about right because we don't know. Bitcoin is getting ready to test the 50-week moving average. It happens every midterm year. This time won't be different. So what is in common with these, right? The commonality is that in bear market years, the 50-week moving average is retested after it goes below, right? When Bitcoin goes below the 50-week moving average, it retests and then goes lower. We saw it in 2018. We saw it in 2022. And here we are in 2026. We actually broke below way back in 2025. Way back in 2025. So it's only logical if history repeats, it'll come up to $102,000. It'll retest the 50-week moving average and then go lower. That's the sign of a bear market. Now, there are many who get caught up in this relief rally, which is kind of on hold right now, kind of chopping around sideways in the big picture. And that's where you get these $200,000 like claims for Bitcoin, and it's like we already had the top, and you guys don't want to hear that. You want to hear me say, "Oh yeah, crypto's going up, it's going up," and I'm just like, I just don't see it. Oh, but the M2 money supply is going up. We got to catch that, right? No, we don't. But stocks going up. Why isn't crypto going up too? because the money is in the stocks and the money is in the precious metals. It's not in crypto. That's what's going on. Bitcoin is setting up a textbook double top. It looks exactly like last cycle. And what was that double top? That double top was 2021, February, March, and then again in November. And we had two troughs, two bottoms. And what happened after that? Bear market. That's what happened in 2022. Well, let's take a look. This cycle, we had a top in December of 2024. And then the second one, which led to Bitcoin's new all-time high of 126,200. That was the second. And then we're in a bear market, 2026. Unfortunately, that's what the chart shows you. Doesn't necessarily have to repeat, but if it does repeat another cycle, that is what we have. I'm just showing the stuff that's out there. That's all I'm doing, reporting on what's out there. And I have a hard time betting against the 4-year cycle again. But that's just me. And he's still calling super cycle, extended cycle, but none of these charts are showing that. Not only do we have the Genius Act, right? But we've got more and more about what is going on with US regulations on crypto. Brian Armstrong, the Coinbase CEO, just revealed live on Fox that big banks are trying to kill the president's crypto agenda. They're trying to kill crypto. Where else have you heard that before? From me. I've been saying this since this whole talk about the Genius Act started like 6 or 8 months ago. I was like, that's not good. That's not good. It's not only right, US regulations, but it's the banks. The banks don't like crypto. Now, they'll get their grubby little paws on our crypto so they can make some money off it because that's a thing, right? But no. And it's all about stable coins too. And you know what? They'll make their own stable coins if they have to. They'll make their own stable coins because they can make money off that. But God forbid they support the people, us, holding crypto and making money off it because it cuts the banks out. And the banks don't like that. I could have said that wrong. I could have. It could have been, but I didn't say it. Somebody thinks you're very obsessed with those numbers, Ryan. Somebody. I'm not saying who, but there's somebody. No, the banks are not going to support Bitcoin. The banks are not going to support Dogecoin. The banks are not going to support anything that we do except when we have to pay them money. That's why I wanted to buy this house with no mortgage. I don't want the bank in my life. I don't want the bank holding a title to my house where I'm living. I hate the banks. I can't wait. I mean, Robinhood now, I may just join Robinhood, which isn't really a bank, right? They're a financial service app, right? Not a bank. But I'm like, yeah. So I'm waiting for X payments, X money. I want to use that, right? I want to use that. I don't want to go all in on Robinhood, the financial service thing, right? So I'm waiting for X money. And then I will shift everything over to there. Once it's, of course, tested out and it does everything I need to do. But yeah, Brian Armstrong was just like, he said it during this interview on Fox. It's just like, the banks are trying to kill the president's crypto agenda. Don't like the banks. Meanwhile, Kaleo says, look, the theory we've been in a similar spot to where we are right now is similar to where we were in the fall of 2020. Well, guess what? Fall of 2020, the bear market was in 2018. You can put all the fractals up here that you want back from 2021 over here, right? The end of 2020 into 2021. You can do that. But that's not the timeline we're in, right? We're in this timeline, I believe, the 4-year cycle where it pulls back. And that's what I think we're going to see. I would love to say this is going to happen, this big fractal, and we're going to just be zooming up to $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 for Bitcoin. I just don't see anything propelling that to happen, particularly when we've got, right, Congress, along with the banks, right, because they're all in bed with each other, right? We know that. They're going to kill the president's crypto agenda. So that's not great. Meanwhile, we have other things, right? People are pointing to, like ETH, right? ETH daily transactions, they're at an all-time high, or at least a high for this cycle. I guess 2021, there was more daily transactions for ETH. Ethereum daily transactions hit an impressive new high of 2.8 million on Thursday, 64% higher than the daily levels observed during the 2021 bull market. Also, it is more. But yet the ETH price, it's not doing much. It's stuck in this brown box. And you would think, wow, ETH transactions are at an all-time high. It must be booming in price. It's not. It's not. So when you look at this and you look at the data and you're like, wait, with all of these transactions, right, price should be going up. This is the sign of the sort of this uncertainty maybe leading into a bear market. We don't know. But I would expect that even in the bear market here in 2022, there were some spikes on ETH transactions. So this could be one of those. We'll see how that plays out as well. If alt season returns, it will be aggressive, according to Crypto Rover. But of course, you know, this guy is a perma bull, except when he'll get more clicks if he decides to be a bear, which he does every now and then. But there's nothing that says altcoin season's happening. There's nothing that says that. Now, Dogecoin could always be the exception. Again, that's what happened back in 2021. Dogecoin led the altcoin season rally. It was Dogecoin. And Dogecoin does have that power. And I do believe in that. We just don't know when that Dogecoin spike is going to be. But that's a real thing. And then we've got other cryptos like Link, right? Price moving sideways now, pressing up against resistance, waiting on a real push. Until that breakout comes, there are clean opportunities in the smaller daily moves if you stay patient and disciplined. There's nothing that says this is what's going to happen. It could just do the opposite, bounce around here and end up going lower. We don't know. So you got to be careful what you're looking at. A lot of perma bulls out there. So Dogecoin. Dogecoin signals a trend reversal. Does it? Again, we have this sort of compression breakout thing thanks to Gain Muse with a target line coming back up. Again, there's nothing that says that is going to happen. He's got this resistance line, like it doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't mean anything. So the trend transition from a moving average perspective, Doge is trading close to its 20-period exponential moving average. Holding above the 20 EMA usually indicates control over short-term momentum of buyers until it doesn't. I say these are just lines on a chart. They don't mean anything. Who says 20, right? 30, 40, 50, pick a number. They're all over the place. So yeah, support for the early reversal narrative. Sure, that could happen. I just don't see it. I think there's too much negative sentiment still in crypto. Dogecoin will go on a run like this big green, that big green move, right? That you see on the cover on my thumbnail as well, that big green move. That's how Dogecoin goes. And you want to be in Dogecoin when that happens. Have your coin count as high as it can be. We just don't know when that's going to happen. So all these people are depressed about Doge and they just want to get out of Doge. You got to understand how Dogecoin trades, and it's different. It goes on big moves for the most part. It's big moves like we saw in November, December 2024, just over a year ago. So BitGuru says, look, Doge has completed a liquidity sweep and is now stabilizing in a long consolidation. So we had that liquidity sweep all the way down to New Year's Eve, right? 11.6 cents. And Doge has moved up. Basically, it was the bump following the sell-off. And the sell-off was all that tax loss harvesting, right? A lot of people selling at the end of the year to just biting the bullet, taking their losses so they can offset capital gains they may have had earlier in the year, right? The bullish beauty. Remember back here? Oh, that was a good time. July, well, June into July, and then August into September, where we were getting these increases. Remember a penny a day, right? We were going up a penny a day back then. That was awesome. This is the weakness after October 10th that happened. And now I don't see the momentum yet to do that kind of move. But with Dogecoin, again, that can happen at any time. And finally, the Dogecoin account says the temptation is too real. Are you paying rent this month or are you buying more Dogecoin? Right? What are you doing? I say, you should probably pay your rent. You should probably pay your utilities, right? The money you put into crypto should be extra money, right? Money that you're willing to risk. Pay your rent. And don't get your credit card out, and don't start like buying crypto with money you don't have. Not a good idea. Again, just keeping it out there. We do have the pinger on. Not much going on right now. I mean, Dash is still going up to over $89 now. Still taking out shorts because people keep thinking that Dash is finally going to hit the top and they're going to make money shorting it down. And it's not. We did have XMR going down. Monero's going down because it got totally overbought. And the whole XMR move seems to have been based on like one huge trade that was actually stolen coins that were being swapped into Monero, and the Monero price was going up because it was looking like a lot of people were buying Monero, but it was really stolen coins that were being traded into Monero. And now Monero is pulling back. I didn't actually look at the XMR chart. I read it. Yeah, that was this. That was that pullback there. So Monero's down 5%. So we had that going on. But Dash, crypto, Dash had the big run and now it's staying up there. So anyone who's trying to short Dash, it is not pulling back. In fact, it's up 10% on the day, Dash is. Because at the end of the day yesterday, it was down here, like 81, 82. Now it's 89, 10% up for Dash. So that's where the trading is right now. 13.78 cents in the brown box again. Yuck. But that's what we got. Pepe looking good. Let's take a look. 59. Just a little more up and down action, but you look at it from Tuesday. I mean, in the immediate, we got a little buying going on, thinking that's the bottom. We'll see whether that holds. We'll see whether that holds for the Pepe. That is so true. Buy only what you can afford. Don't go using your credit card to buy crypto. I don't trust this market. Hey, Gene, I'm thinking about putting another $20 into Dogecoin and another $5 into Pepe. Again, with Doge and Pepe too, it's about coin count or token count, right? When the big move eventually happens. We just don't know when that's going to be. So you could be buying here at these levels, which are obviously much lower than they've been over the past few days or the past week or so. And then you go back to like November, October, and even back even before the flash crash, right? If you were buying there, you're way down now. But if you're buying now, we don't know whether this is scraping bottom or not. We don't know when X money is going to be launched to the public on X, which I think is going to be a catalyst and bullish for Doge. And once Doge starts running, then you get Sheeb and Pepe and Bonk and Whiff and Floki and all those going as well. That's how the memes all trade kind of together. One of them takes the lead. Typically it's Doge, just because it's so much bigger. So that happens. So yeah, it is about coin count. I don't believe in Sheeb as much as Doge. Yeah, I don't think Sheeb is ever going to lead a meme coin rally. It had its one bright shining star moment back in the fall of 2021. And since then, it hasn't led anything. Kriss is back. Yes, for those that hadn't heard, I will be live streaming going forward on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 times a week on the live streams. I'll still try and get 5 or 6 videos out a week. But I will do special live streams sometime in between there when things are going on, things are happening. But my schedule is like, pretty tough schedule right now. Too much going on. Taking a beating, but still bringing down my average. That is commitment. But again, only using money that you have extra. 2025 was not a bear market. Not for Bitcoin. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high in 2025. That's why I say the 4-year cycles are based on Bitcoin. And in the past 2 cycles, Dogecoin has front ran Bitcoin. Bitcoin hit its all-time high back in the previous cycle, 2021, in November. But Dogecoin hit its all-time high in May, front-running Bitcoin. And the same thing happened this cycle. October 2025 was Bitcoin's new all-time high. Dogecoin had a cycle high back in December 2024, front-running Bitcoin. So was 2025 a bear market for Dogecoin? Yeah, you could call it that, but you need to be specific, right? Of altcoins versus Bitcoin. But there were other coins too that had bull 2025s, not just Bitcoin. Just my opinion. You feel the same way about Sheeb? You want out? I have a little Sheeb left. I sold the rest of my Sheeb that I had for a profit. So I didn't lose money on it. But that big SHIB run never happened. 2023, 2024. We had a little bit at the beginning of 2024, had a little bit of run on SHIB, but that was Dogecoin that went higher. It was Dogecoin based run. Should have sold then. Yeah. Was thinking 2025 was going to be a total alt season blowout, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. There's a whale longing ETH. Tough market. Tough market. Lots of cope in the comments on this morning's videos. Again, you know, I just try and keep it real. I try and keep it real. So this morning's video here, Dogecoin price targets. And the thing about those price targets is those are what other people are saying, and they're full of hopium. Hopium. From 20-cent Doge short term up to $9. $9 Dogecoin is just like, no, come on. We're not having that. So yeah, I get it. Everybody wants to dream, and Dogecoin is something to dream about. But again, Doge is an OG meme coin, still around. I've shown that chart again. How in 2014, Doge was moved into the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap in 2014. 5 of those coins that were in the top 10 in 2014 don't even exist anymore. But Dogecoin does. Dogecoin still around. Still around. Yep. Should have, could have, would have, right? Should have, could have, would have. I wish I sold when I was up like 300%. We just didn't know. I'm trying not to be funny. I'll just tell it like it is, but it's true. Felt like it was going to go, and no. Fun to dream, best to be real. Yeah, and all those talks about like $9 Doge, it's like, it's going to be hard enough just to get $1. It's going to be hard enough just to get back to our previous all-time high. So yeah, that's the realism of it. Can you make money on Doge? Sure. And we've seen it. Doge goes on runs, happens all the time. Now, if you bought at 40 cents, right, and you're down a lot, yeah, you're going to be really negative about everything. The timing was bad. You bought at a bad time. You were trying to catch it when the FOMO was kicking in, and you bought near the top of this cycle, unfortunately. And that happens. I get it. I did the same with stacks. It wasn't really FOMO. I bought on a big dip, but it was still high at that time overall. And I ended up losing like 60%. But that happens. I didn't have a huge amount into it, but I thought stacks was going to follow Bitcoin, right? Being that sort of layer 2 kind of thing on Bitcoin, and it just didn't play out that way. The alts didn't hold like Bitcoin did on the red days. Maybe Jasmine will reach $1 before Jasmine's not reaching $1. Casper, sorry. Jasmine's having a hard time getting back to a penny. And greed is natural. I get it. I've been on that side too. You get kind of caught up at times, and you think you're like, okay, maybe I should take profits here, but then greed kicks in and says, no, I'll wait till it goes up a little bit more. I've done it. We've all done it. And then it doesn't go back up and it starts going down. And then you're like, no, I'll wait till it at least gets back to where it was. And then it goes lower. It's natural. I get it. We've all been there. Yeah, I saw you change your profile. Very cool little AI 3D thing, right? Very cool. Yeah, it's difficult not to be greedy. It is. Hey, Chucky Chuck is in the house. Welcome. How you doing? But yep, so you learn. Always take profits, even if it's some. I remember all the shit I got taking that slice of Doge at 42 cents last November. No, November a year ago. Oh, you're selling Dogecoin. I was just like, I'm taking profits. That was that Doge that I bought at 2 cents back in 2021. I finally took the profits on that at 42 cents. And everybody was giving me shit. You're selling Dogecoin. It's going much higher. And I'm just like, I'm taking profits. And even before the Trump election, right, I did a whole series on when to take profits, how to take profits, taking slices, not buying or not selling at all. In hindsight, selling it all at 42 cents would have been the move, right? I mean, what did go up to 48 cents, but I mean, don't be too greedy, right? But that would have been the move. It's like, yeah, to sell it all. So yeah, there was money left out there when I eventually did sell most of it. But I thought that Trump was going to be the crypto president, right? Yeah, that didn't work out so well, did it? That didn't work out so well. You remember that from last or over a year ago now, right? But I did this whole thing about like how I'll take slices and what are my price points and for 42,069. That was a good number. It hit it. It hit 42,069. That would have been awesome. 42,069. Peter, how are you? Wish I didn't sell the lot. Everyone was pissed. Yeah. But yeah, there's still a lot of these moon boys out here, right? A lot of moon boys. And I just like, I don't see that. I just don't see that. He's using the big run from end of 2022 or end of 2020 into 2021 as a fractal to where we are now at the beginning of 2026. And it's just not there. It's not the same. Yeah. Yeah, the whole Trump coin thing. I remember that compo, right? And we talked about it when it happened, like sucking all the liquidity out of the market. Should have been the sign to sell then, because Doge was still like 36 to 40 cents in that range. By the time I sold, it was down to like 32, going down to 31. Yeah. But that was only the tariff fear on top of that. That's when I was like, okay, this is really going south. And that's when I started dumping everything that I was planning on selling. And I told everyone at the time what I saw happening and that I was going to do it. And then I did it. And then people gave me crap about that. And I was just like, what? I'm supposed to be live? I'm supposed to be live selling my crypto when I told you I was going to do it? Only Charlotte. That's a new name. Oh, is Chucky gone? No more Chucky? Aw. Well, looks like she's back to Charlotte. But we had fun with those other names, right? We had fun with those other names. Sorry you're not feeling well. But you're here, and thanks for checking in. Was time for a change. Yep. All right, Miss Charlotte, we can call you that again. But Charlie was kind of fun. Yeah, Chrono's been subbed for like 3 to 4 years. You were my go-to guy when others were just moon boys, like you said. Appreciate the honesty. That's what I do. Yep. I got a W. And since then, the trading wasn't great through the rest of 2025. I was still thinking about October and Moonvember, right? So I bought some on dips in July and August, including like Pepe and Bonk. And I ended up selling those at the end of the year. In the whole tax loss harvesting thing, I did the same. It's just like, so rip a lot of things. Yeah. The DJ and Chucky, rip Chucky. You're not ever going to change the Duchess title? Yeah, keep it. People know you like that. Keep it. You love the cap, Shin. I do too. Look, it's a market cap. It's the market cap. Thanks to Robinhood. Robinhood. Got a free market cap. I like it. Talk to me, Goose. Hey, Ronnie, everyone was hyping 69 and was in the 40s. And I remember a few YouTubers said it won't go down to 25. I remember someone laughing at a guy that said 19 cents. Called a guy unproven. Well, unproven would not have been a word I said. But at the time, I did believe that Dogecoin would not be down in the teens. I did remember saying that. So I do recall that. But again, looking at the 4-year cycles, looking at the precedents, where Dogecoin was trading at the time. And yeah, I admit it. I don't think I called the guy unproven, though. That's not my language. But that's how you interpreted it. I get it. And then what happened after October 10th? Then I was uncertain for a couple weeks, few weeks, was waiting for the next move. And then I went bear. And I've been a bear since. You weren't referring to me? Okay, well, got it. I thought you were kind of being a little sly there, mentioning someone, thinking that might have been me. But I do admit, I did say that as well. I didn't think Doge would be back in the teens. Hang the hat up on a light so it's a much higher market cap. Oh, if only I could do that. If only I could do that. The John Wick movies. I just saw the first one, and then I was good. It's like, okay, I don't need to see any more. It was good. A little violent, but good. But I didn't watch any more of them. Thank you, Will. Appreciate it. It's amazing how people on crypto Twitter, on X, like are always touting like these huge wins. And if they were having such huge wins all the time, they wouldn't be sitting around on crypto Twitter. They just wouldn't be there. So there were big losses with that too. They don't talk about those. They don't post those. Some of them do. Some of them are pretty honest about their posts on their trades. But most of them are just posting the wins. And they're doing short-term leverage trading, degen stuff that they probably shouldn't be doing. Yeah. Ah. Sunshine in the UK. What, Compo? Sunshine? Warm? January in the UK? No way. No way. Yeah. So crypto YouTubers always buy at the lows and sell at the highs. They are so smart. They all hold silver. And now Monero, they've always made the best calls, right? Always made them. Never a loss. It's like, man. Ah, Sheeb is ripping. I mean, that's nice. Just zoom out. Nah, not really. Not really. Actually, a lovely day where you are, Compo, but not where Charlotte is. No sun in Manchester. Uh, 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 uh. They're never scared when a token dips, never sell at a loss. Amazing. Amazing. Sheeb is ripping a hole in the bottom of the wallet. Oh. Enjoy the silence. Do, 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 do. Depeche Mode was so good. It's so many good songs. I like the long version, the extended version of that Enjoy the Silence song. You have to hear the extended version of that song. So good. In the late 1980s, there's a story here about Depeche Mode. In the late 1980s, tickets for the Depeche Mode concert were going on sale at like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock the next morning. And I was going to buy tickets for myself and my girlfriend at the time. And she broke up with me the night before. She broke up with me the night before. It was a stupid thing in hindsight, but at the time, I get it. And I was too depressed to buy Depeche Mode tickets, so I never bought them. And that was, that would have been a great concert to see. Well. Oh. Yeah, never got to see them live. Ah, well. Why doesn't Doge go up more, right? If Sheep's going up, Doge should be following it. That's the rule, right? Doge just kind of hanging out. Thank you, Kronos, for the reminder. Everybody, smash the like. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. You know, I got back. I got back to 21.4. Some subs came back on my YouTube channel. Now it may go back down to 21.3 again because I'm sitting here spitting truths instead of being a moon boy. I get it. You all want the prices to go up. You all want the prices to go up. But I try and keep it real. So the sub rally relief, the sub relief rally. I know we had a dip and then we got some back. Depeche Mode right in the front. Awesome. Yes, it was very generous of Davin. Very generous. And Goose, that reminds me, you need to send me your Dogecoin wallet. You're the last one. You have to send me your Dogecoin wallet. So generous, Davin. Thank you. I got them all taken care of except for Goose. You won. Yes. You're a winner. No, thank Davin. Davin was being generous to the wrenches. You weren't here. You weren't here when that happened. There's some Doge coming your way. You just have to send me your wallet. The first non-rigged drawing. Exactly. Exactly. The price will go down. That's okay. You buy more for your money. That's the right attitude. If you want to save some for a giveaway, that is your choice. If you would like to do that, that is your choice. I did see something on this low roller about limiting how many miles you drive. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So. Hey, Weiju, how are you? Pump it up. Pump it up. I wish that'll happen right now. All right, we doing this, Goose? All right. Goose says, let's go. We know the drill, right? Do we know the drill? We're going to have a giveaway thanks to Davin and Goose. The word is Dogecoin. You type Dogecoin in the chat, you're going to win some Dogecoin. Maybe, if your name gets drawn. Better chance of winning on a Friday afternoon. And maybe I'll win too. So here's how it works. For those who haven't been here for giveaways, in order to be entered, it's great that you're here, but that doesn't automatically enter you in the drawing. You actually have to type Dogecoin in the chat in order to be entered. And then the StreamYard giveaway tool will randomly select from all the people that type Dogecoin in the chat for the giveaway. All right. We're going to do 2 draws, 25 Doge each. 2 draws, 25 Doge each. Okay. And this will be our, God, we've had a lot of draws here. This is draw number 78. I always keep track of all of these, just in case the IRS comes to me and says, what's all this, what's your wallet, all these Doge going in and out, and you didn't claim them. And I'll say, it wasn't my Dogecoin. No, I did give away some myself as well. So yeah, so the rules are, we do the spin. If your name comes up, you need to be here. You cannot be AFK. You need to be here, and you need to say in the chat something like "woohoo," "yay," "good for me," like something like that. Because otherwise, you're not going to hear the rest, right, of what you need to do in order to get the Dogecoin. But you need to at least acknowledge in the chat that you won. Right now, some people just like to see their name on the screen with the confetti and all that, right? And then they decide to pass it on to someone else because they've won before, or they're just feeling generous today, and we can redraw. If your name comes up and you don't respond in the chat, we'll do a little countdown and we will respin there. So all of that is going on. And then if you are indeed one who has chosen to accept the 25 Doge giveaway, at the end of the draws, I will put my email address up on the screen, and you need to send me an email sometime tonight. And in your email, I need to have your YouTube handle and your Dogecoin wallet, because I got to know where to send the Dogecoin. Okay? I got to know where to send the Doge. So you have to have a Dogecoin wallet that begins with the letter D, because I only do blockchain transfers. None of this OX crap. That's not real Dogecoin. Davin is being very generous. Again, Davin. Thank you, sir. Giving away more Dogecoin. All right. We are going to spin. Are we ready? Are we set? Let me get my sounds up here. All right. We got our... Are we ready? Are we ready? Let's draw. 4, 25 Dogecoin. Let's go. Ken. Congrats there, Ken. You are the first winner. Woohoo! Yay! Weishu. No, last I saw, you are not a Ken. Oh. There you are. Cool, I won. Thank you. Okay, I will put my email address up on the screen in just a little bit. We have a second drawing to do. All right, let's do it. We're going to draw again. Let's go. Well, wasn't me. My name went through. The Whale Watcher. Whale Watcher. Congrats, Whale. Woohoo! And again, Ryan doesn't win. I don't think Ryan has won since the very first drawing, if I remember. It was the very first drawing Ryan won and hasn't won since. Identify as a whale watcher. See, that's the one thing that's good about these ats is there's only one for each. Ah, there he is. You're welcome. Jason, you think you've won twice? I can scroll and figure it out because I have it all written down, but yeah. All right, we have 2 successful. And let me just put in here, this is 25 Doge each. Okay, that's that. And now let me get on here this one. Here's the document. Get this over here. And so for you 2 that won, you need to send me an email to KrissCrypto@gmail.com. That's KrissKrypto, KrissCrypto@gmail.com, and send me an email with your YouTube handle and your Dogecoin wallet address. Dogecoin wallet address, so I know where to send the Doge. Sometime tonight, we can take care of that for you. All right? Awesome. Thank you. Don't be sad, Charlotte. It'll happen again for you. It will happen again for you. Guys, if you had boomer parents, you're still a winner. Kriss will be sending participation Dogecoin to all the alternative winners or losers. You get your participation trophy. Nope. Nope. You got to win. You got to win. I thought Ryan won 6 or 7 times. Ah, that's so appropriate there, Compo. That's so appropriate. No, I'm not doing the hat. No. See, the actual physical things to give away are really hard because then I got to have addresses and I got to wrap something up and I got to take it to the post office or UPS or something to ship it and blah, blah. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. I did that with the Dogecoin medallion. I did give one of those away and somebody won. They did send me their address. I shipped it to them. They received it and that all worked out great. Nah, I'm not doing that again. That was way too hard. It's always rigged. It's always rigged, of course. The Pokemon robberies. Yeah, they have video of these guys like smashing cabinets and for Pokemon cards. What's the world coming to, Low Roller? I mean, really, what's the world coming to? Smash and grab for Pokemon cards. Not jewelry, no, Pokemon cards. Wow. I could just send them an email of the picture of my cap. Yeah, it's a market cap. It's a market cap. You get a picture. Maybe I'll make an NFT out of it, right? It's a JPEG. You win a JPEG NFT of my market cap. Yeah, how would you be able to tell if they were stolen Pokemon cards? Low Roller, how would they be able to tell? Because those guys who just did the smash and grab and got all those Pokemon cards, if there's like really, really unique ones in there that are worth a lot of money, I guess there's no way anybody would know. I know they should be going after coins, right? But maybe they've got a thing about Pokemon cards. I don't know. That's yeah, serial numbers. There's a serial number, right? So they're going to get found out if they try and sell them. Unless they do it all like, through third parties or something. But I don't know how that would work. They'd get found out. Yeah. So I read both headlines. Coinbase CEO sneaks surprising things in crypto bills. The banks. Yeah, we talked about it. I don't mind talking about it again. Yes, it is true that Brian Armstrong has been working with legislators. He's been on Capitol Hill, and because they basically have been using him as like SME, subject matter expert, right, on crypto, in order to help figure out regulations, right? But then there are some things they won't do, and one of them is stablecoins. They will not give yield to stablecoins, and that is what's coming from the banks, because the banks are also in bed with the US legislators, right? And the banks don't want the American people totally avoiding banks and buying all stable coins and getting interest, because a lot of people are all about the interest you're going to get, right? So that's what that's about. That's what that's about. So I don't know how that's going to work out. So Brian Armstrong removed his support from the bill, the Clarity Act. But then there's a lot of talk going back to the Genius Bill, Genius Act as well. So it's kind of a mess at the moment. Markets don't like messes. Don't like messes. I can't enjoy the silence out of my head now. I blame Charlotte. Yeah, if they sell on eBay, they could get caught. I know. Maramello, how are you? Both Doge and XRP tattoos? Yeah, I'm not getting tattoos. I'm not interested. I'm good. Don't need tattoos. Hope everyone enjoys the weekend. It's a 3-day weekend for those that get Martin Luther King Day off on Monday. Kriss does not have to work on Monday. Stock market is not trading on Monday for Martin Luther King Day, but that will be my next live stream. Will be Monday. For those that don't know and didn't hear, I'm live streaming Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays now. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You're welcome. Banks and politicians competing. And Brian Armstrong was trying to do a good thing to help them out, and now he's stuck in the middle. Did he think it was going to be that easy? No. I blame myself. Yes. Enjoy the silence. The government should just buy Dogecoin and make it the national currency. Jason, truer words have never been said. Why 3 times now? I don't know what that means. I'm also on X here. Let me refresh. For those that don't follow me on X, I'm at KrissPax. And of course, I'm now reposting a lot of memes from the old Dogecoin memes. When you ask a store to accept Dogecoin, be a lot wower if you did. Have you asked the store whether they accept Dogecoin? Have you asked a store whether they accept Dogecoin? It's a good question. It's a good question. I don't understand why card shop putting expensive cards in the store, even if you're vendors in the card shop. Yeah, but they could be putting the unopened packs, right? And you don't know whether one of those $10,000 cards is in an unopened pack. So if they just cleaned out all their unopened packs, maybe they'll get a $10,000 card. Who knows? That's what I'm thinking. There is insurance. I'm sure they have insurance, but again, they don't know the values of the cards that were actually stolen. If they're unopened packs, then they don't know. It's a mess. Like everything. Hey, RR, good evening. How are you? How are you? We're just hanging on a Friday. Just hanging out. Sentiment is still low. I mean, Dogecoin fear and greed is like neutral right now. And we're just kind of sitting in the middle here. So much for the big SHIB run. It's now pulling back. It wasn't really big, but it's pulling back. Can never trust a SHIB run, except the one that actually was the big run back in October 2021. I may have dreamt it. So Walmart is accepting cryptocurrency through some third-party thing. And Dogecoin is one of those cryptos. But it's some third-party thing. I don't remember which one it was that they were using. So yes, it is possible, I guess, I haven't tried it, to actually pay using Dogecoin for things at Walmart. But then the third party takes their little slice, and now you're spending your Dogecoin at 13 cents. Do you really want to do that? I'd rather wait for it to be like 50 cents again, or maybe even $1 before I start spending it. I want that buying power. I'm not spending my 13-cent Dogecoin now. That's just me. There's a lot of people who just say it doesn't matter what the price is. 1 Doge equals 1 Doge, blah, blah, blah. But personally, I might think of spending it, but when it's up like 50 cents, then I'll start spending it. Yeah, you should not be putting those kinds of things in a store. Mickey Mantle, Michael Jordan, $100,000 cards. No. Yeah, you'd wait. I'm waiting. If Dogecoin goes to $1 and my average price is 7 cents, it's 10 times the buying power. More than 10 times the buying power. And if Tesla is accepting Dogecoin directly for a Tesla car, yeah, I'd buy one. I would do that. Had a good day, did some squats, overhead weight training, made chicken tortillas for dinner. That sounds like a good dinner. I think we're having the mushroom raviolis tonight. That's what we're having, mushroom raviolis. With a few extra things mixed in, of course. I have not been doing my workouts. I've been way too busy. I've been missing my workouts. My body feels it too. It's just like I start getting a little tired. I miss my workouts. You missed the Pax cat. Yeah. He goes and does his own thing. Speaking of the Pax cat, we have a cat that hangs around where we live. Looks just like the Pax cat. I call him Pax for short. Of course he responds. He's like, yeah, Pax. He's my brother, my cousin. Long lost cousin is in Hawaii. Oh, the Love Cats. I remember that song. That was one of their early songs. Yeah. The Love Cats. I remember that. Early Cure song. Yeah, regular workouts are good. Keeps the body energetic. Got to keep the blood flowing. Yep. I feel it too. So maybe next week I can get back into that routine. I just got way too much going on at the moment. I was never a fan of the Stray Cats. It wasn't that, I didn't like that kind of music. Not my kind of music. I remember the guitarist being really good though. There are no Stray Cat songs on my iPod. Yeah, Pictures of You a little later, but yeah, a good song. That song went on for a long time. I remember that. I don't think I have. I do not think I have Love Cats in my music collection. I don't think I have that. I'm going to have to add that. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff from The Head on the Door, Kiss Me, Disintegration, Galore, which was the singles thing, Wish, and then their most recent one, Bloodflowers, has this great song called Last Day of Summer that I added. That's what I got. I don't have the early stuff. The good part, even if you skip a bit, the body doesn't take long to get back in shape. That's true, and I've done that before. Yeah. Hey, Chuck, how's it going? You were driving home? You've started a workout program? I was doing 3 days a week and then filling in on a weekend, either on a Saturday or Sunday. And that was good. I was on a regular schedule. But God, this past week is just Joy Division and New Order. Good stuff. The long remastered version. Yeah. All good. Great taste. And yet, the rest of the world has no idea because they listen to all the crap that's on pop radios and stuff. And it's just like, you have no idea. No idea of like real, like gut-wrenching alternative music. So good. That was the best part of the 80s, was that music. Yeah, we seem to be stuck at like 93 was the high, low roller on silver. Yeah, see, techno and electronica, you just... I like the songs that actually have lyrics, you know? And there's some good techno, right, that was lyrics, that had lyrics. But that was all about, what, 10, 12 years ago, when there was a big push on that. Was it the Swedish House Mafia or someone like that? I remember that group. That was some good songs. Swedish House Mafia. Calling 2026 a bull year is like calling Bob Ross an artist. Well, You never know what's going to happen coming up. There's some you don't know. You don't know. There is some alternative music out there. There are some good bands. One of them that someone put me on. Hold on. I think they were, yeah, Riverside. Riverside. Great songs. Great songs. The Place Where I Belong. Highly recommended. The Place Where I Belong from Riverside. I've got about 10 Riverside songs now, but that one is just so good. It's the end of the world as we know it. Yeah, we looked at silver earlier, pulled back below 90. It may not be the end of the run, though. REM was good. That was one of those bands I saw late 1980s. I did see REM. I was living in Miami, and they came to Miami, and it was awesome. It was the Green Tour. The Green Tour. I know. Manchester was so grim that the musicians were super melancholic. I know, right? Yeah, many of them just had tough upbringings. So they had stuff really to write about, right? Alicia by Lorien Testard. Power Glove. The Motorcycle Cop. Don't make music like they used to. There's some good bands out there, though. There's some good stuff floating around. There's a new band called, they're from Chicago, called Bridget Calls Me Baby. Bridget Calls Me Baby. Check those guys out if you want new music that is like pretty good stuff. I just hear this stuff around, you know. Good ones here and there, but not like before. Exactly. Steve Perry from Journey, always. There's talks about them reuniting. I mean, obviously Steve Perry can't hit those high notes anymore. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Because there's another singer that the rest of the Journey band has been using as they continue to tour and like make money on continually touring and playing songs without Steve Perry. It would be cool if he was included and he sang some songs and let the other guy do some high notes or do something so it would still sound good. I don't know. I mean, Rush is touring with a keyboard player now. It's like, what? Rush touring with a keyboard player? How can you do that? It's only supposed to be a 3-person band, not a 4. But they just want the music to sound good. So I got nothing against that. I got nothing against that. Music in the chat. I know. We talk about music. We talk about food. We're talking about music today. It's good. You probably have silver plates, silver spoons. Yeah, I've got a no, I only have like 2 silver things. One of them is a dish, and the other is a it's like a cake cutter thing, a knife, cake knife. That's a silver thing. That's all I got. Yeah, I will look at Lorien Testard. Yeah, always up for new artists. Riverside, and they play some long songs too. And then this new band, they play shorter songs, but got a good guitar sound. Some of those little 80 80 like single picking riffs. That's just really good. And the guy has got an awesome voice that leads the band. Awesome voice. Music was better before confirmation bias. We tend not to remember all the bad music that was made back then. I know. Never listened to that. I only listen to the good stuff. Fume. Quicksand. All right, Bobby. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, of course, the guy being the singer in Journey has to be a younger guy. Older Steve Perry can't hit those high notes anymore. The cesspool of vermin. That is an awesome name. Must be as depressing as hell, right? Yeah, we looked at those price targets, Joseph, earlier. And it's just like, come on, man. Come on. 450. I think I showed it in this morning's video too. That Bitcoin census chart. $4.50. See you, William. See you Monday. The sneaker world. My son is into sneakers. He's been buying sneakers and reselling them. One of his little side gigs that he does. Saw Neil Young on a solo tour, just him, a stool, and an acoustic guitar. That would have been different. Yeah. The sneaker market collapsed. I know times are getting tough, but not a collapsing of the market. I imagine those good, unique Jordans are still expensive. They're not coming down. Not coming down. There'll always be rich people to buy them that don't care about the economy. You might just have to hold on to them longer if you're trying to sell them. Find the right person, right? I bought a pair for 150 because I wanted to wear them, jumped on StockX, and they were almost 400. You sold yours for 350. A nice little $200 profit. Yeah, I think a lot of people use that StockX site just to like see whether they're getting a deal or not on whatever offer they have to buy. I mean, that's what my son does, right? He goes to a sneaker convention and he's got StockX open and he's just looking, always scrolling around. But he figures that's what most of the vendors do too. So they all know what the going prices are. Tough to get a deal like that, but good for you, Goose. I don't mind spending $150, $200 on shoes for good quality. Fashion means nothing. You want quality. Then you're not buying exclusive Jordans. Because most people don't wear them unless they're like utterly rich and they don't care. You've got like 2 terabytes full of music. Yeah, I used to have a lot more, but I whittled down my music collection. I just started whittling. I was way over like 5,000 songs, got it down to about 4,000. Now I'm probably about 3,800 or so. It's just like after you hear a song enough, it's like, okay, I don't need that one anymore. And it's more just trimming down. So when I'm on random play, like in my car, I've got CarPlay going and it's just doing random songs. It's like, if it's not Christmas, I don't want to hear a Christmas song. I really don't. So I like take them off. You had no idea your daughter stopped you from putting them on? Yeah, my son would do the same thing to me. He'd be like, no, you cannot put those on your feet. You use Spotify? Yeah, I'm not paying for Spotify. I already have all the music. It's all right here. I don't need Spotify. And to find new bands, it's usually YouTube, right? And some of the songs I'll buy off of, Apple, in iTunes. And some of them I'll acquire in other ways, let's say. I'll acquire them in other ways. Yeah, you can set up playlists right in iTunes. I got it all right here. Got tons of playlists, all my music. Christmas is only 343 days off. Yeah, I just can't listen to Christmas music just randomly coming up. All I Want for Christmas Is You comes up, and I'm just like, really? I don't need to hear Mariah like in the middle of summer. I don't need to hear it. Oh. All right, gang, that's what we got for today. Everybody enjoy the weekend. Dogecoin is just hanging around. 1376, fine. We'll see where it is on Monday. I'll have a video sometime over the weekend, and then another video on Monday, and then I'll be live again Monday evening. I hope you all are well. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.